Lopez is that he always tries to say little slick stuff in regards to black fighters. And as I said before, a lot of these black fighters to me just don't have no backbone and they're spineless. If I was a boxer, is no way dudes like Teofimo Lopez and Ryan Garcia would have got away with saying stuff that they be saying. But Teofimo Lopez is just laughable. That he tries to talk like, he makes a lot of sense, and you could tell that Teofimo is clearly ignorant and he has no identity. The thing is with him, he tries to talk slick about black people, but he loves to emulate black people, tries to get his hair cut like a black person, listens to our music, hip hop, a black created art form. And once again, Latinos didn't help create hip hop. Y'all didn't do shit. But I just find it funny that he always tries to just talk slick. He says the Top Rank favors the black fighters more than they do the Latino fighters, and then the black fighters have stated otherwise. But that's another video for another day. So basically, he was talking about this whole thing with Ryan Garcia, and then he tries to say, well, we have to protect freedom of speech. First of all, is a difference between freedom of speech and hate speech and terrorist threats. Ryan Garcia made terrorist threats. And I'm tired of hearing people talk about his mental illness and all that kind of stuff. That's, that came from Ryan Garcia's heart. But the funny thing about Teofimo, he always talks about he should get this, he should get that. But at the end of the day, he can't sell no tickets. Once again, he's a conference room fighter. Kendrick Lamar had more people at his Not Like Us video shoot than Teofimo had at his last fight. They tried to put him in, before that, they tried to put him in a smaller venue, a smaller arena in the Michelob Ultra Arena. And he couldn't even sell out half of that. Think he sold I think he sold barely 6,000 tickets, not including the ones that they gave away. They tried to put him at Madison Square Garden. He didn't even sell, he didn't even sell like 8,000 tickets. I think he sold like 7,000 tickets, and he fought at the actual Madison Square Garden. Top Rank be losing money on Teofimo Lopez, but then he always tries to talk slick. Yeah, you could have freedom of speech, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't come with a price, that somebody won't go upside your head if you say something. But Teofimo Lopez has this deep-seated, envy and, lightweight hatred towards black people, because at the end of the day, he doesn't have a black identity, and then he doesn't have a Hispanic identity, because at the end of the day, his family originated from Honduras. And he is at the bottom barrel of Hispanics as far as having a following. He's not Puerto Rican. He is not Dominican. Definitely isn't Mexican, isn't Argentinian. So how many people from Honduras is going to come watch him fight? But then he always talking about other fighters. Once again, who would watch him? Who would pay to see him get the hell beat out of him by Terrence Crawford? And that's the thing with Teofimo Lopez. He talks about other people, but then he just had a life and death battle. With basically a fighter that we rarely heard of. We barely heard of. A lot of people, and then before that, most people thought that he lost to Jermaine Ortiz. A lot of people thought he lost to Sandor Martin. But then this dude is always talking crazy and trying to say slick stuff about black people. That's what be tripping me out about non-blacks. They love to talk crazy about black people, but then they always copying off of us. And this is what I mean by black people make the world go real. I just laugh I'll just laugh at the fact that he sat up there and say we have to protect freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want to say, but it doesn't come without consequences. Just because you say something don't mean that, okay, cool. You can say whatever you want, but that doesn't mean that you won't get the shit beat out of you, or somebody pull out a clapper on you. I mean, Tiafimo just really, even when he tries to sound like he's smart, he comes across as sounding dumb, because to a certain degree, he is kind of dumb. You can't sit up there and try to sneak this to people you trying to copy off of. And see, that's the thing. Nobody's really came at Tiafimo like that. Because I want to see, can he take it as well as he tries to dish it out, trying to insinuate people should be able to say the N-word and all that kind of stuff. Okay, if that's the case, Tiafimo, say something about Jewish people, see what happened. See what happened to you. Say something about them and see what happens, dude. I promise you, the end results ain't gonna be very good for you. But like I said before, he says what he says about black people because at the end of the day, black people, a lot of us are going to ignore it. We are going to tuck our tails and not put him in his place. And Tiafimo need to be put in his place. You can't say nothing about Shakur or anybody. At least Shakur Stevenson can average 10,000 people in a full-fledged arena. You can't even barely on a consistent basis get 4,000 people to come see you, but you try to talk about somebody else. But you think you're supposed to get paid all this money. And that's why I'm different from most of these media people. I'm not going to sit up there and be kissing somebody like Tiafimo Lopez ass, and I'm not going to kiss no fighter's ass. But definitely, he ain't nobody to be sitting up there kissing up to, because like at the end of the day, he has no following. You talking crazy about a group of people, but then you don't have no identity yourself. You don't have no cultural identity, where I do. You don't have a Latino cultural identity. But then you trying to diss black people. And we all know where that come from. It's what you call penis envy. That's what he has. He always say little slick stuff about black people. But, at the end of the day, he's gotten away with it because nobody ain't challenged him on that. And that's the problem with these media people. But eventually it's going to happen. And Tiafimo just need to just shut up, man, because he can't talk about nobody. Tiafimo couldn't sell ice water to people in hell. He couldn't sell shit to flies. I mean, he's for real. I'm just keeping it 100. This dude always got something to say about somebody, in particularly that look like us. But you going through a cultural identity crisis. And that's just real talk. You can't diss the people that you trying to emulate. So I don't want to hear this stuff about we have to protect freedom of speech. Nah, you don't get to say whatever you want to say without consequences. That's been proven time and time again. Now, what it come down to, what he meant to say is we should be able to disrespect black people and not suffer a consequence. But then again, I'll blame black people for this because black people be always sitting up twiddling their thumbs and not having the guts to say something, because we sit up there and want to give these people a pass. But at the end of the day, we don't want to give each other a pass. We'd rather argue with each other than other people. It's time to start checking them instead of us. And we need to, hold court, stand strong, stand tall. If we don't, we gonna continue to fall. Anyway, got to start my shift. It's your boy Town. I'm out.